I hope you're enjoying your extra days off. Again, we have Monday and Tuesday off, which means we're going to miss some valuable class time. And I want us to be able to do some work over the next 2 days so that we can get the ball rolling with our next personalized learning unit when we return on Wednesday. So this screencast is going to give you some information on how to do that. So let's go ahead and go to Blackboard. And in Blackboard, we will go to biology. And once to biology, go to personalized learning. I'm on my computer. It's going to look a little different for you on your iPad, but go to personalized learning. And up here on the very top is a folder that says unit topics. Please go ahead and open that up. And the unit we just got done with was DNA and protein. So let's go ahead and open that document. Our big theme for this personalized learning unit is that all living things have genetic material that codes for their physical and behavioral traits. And so we talked about that genetic material being DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. We talked about how it is a universal genetic code. It doesn't matter if you're a tree or a dolphin or a human, you're still going to have the nitrogen bases A, T, G, and C. It's just a matter of that code being changed, which causes us to have different genes. And those different genes code for the different proteins that give us our traits, our characteristics, and our functions. So we've talked about DNA and each strand of DNA having multiple genes that code for different proteins. And we talked about how those proteins are made and the applications to that in the study of disease, evolution, crime scene investigation, identifying family history, all of those things. We've also talked about how all of the cells in an organism's body would have the exact same genetic information due to DNA replication. Before cells divide, they replicate their DNA with the help of some enzymes, which we've talked about. You can go back and review your notes. And they make more of that DNA, of that genetic code, so that all cells have the instructions to make the proteins that allow them to function the way that they do. We've also touched on how changes to the genetic code, called mutations, will cause changes to an organism's traits, characteristics, behaviors, and functions. Some of those mutations are positive, some of those mutations are negative. So those are the major concepts that we covered in this unit. If you need to go back and review notes, or if you need to go and read the genetics iBook, by all means you may do that in order to make sure that you're keeping up with what's going on in class. Some of the questions that I think you guys could potentially ask in this personalized learning unit are listed below. Everything from why do all living organisms have DNA or RNA? Why nothing else? How did DNA and RNA evolve over time? How is DNA, how is that first discovered? What did that process look like, and who is responsible for it? How is the genetic code responsible for traits like athleticism or addiction or physique or metabolism? What are the links between mutations and genetic diseases or deficiencies? What is the Human Genome Project, and why is it important? How have our greater understanding of the genetic code and genetic modification, how is that being used in medicine or the food industry? What are GM foods? How are they made? GM stands for genetic modification. Are they safe for humans and animals? So all of these questions are things that you could potentially ask, or that you could modify for yourself to develop your own question. Remember, we want our question to be what we called RARs, which would mean that it was research-based, that it was authentic, meaning it was your own. We wanted it to be something that was of interest to you, and not just easy, something that was going to catch your attention. And then we needed to make sure that it was specific as well. So please make sure that the question that you decide you're going to do your research on follows all of those things. So what I would like you to do over the next 2 days is really reflect on what we've learned and identify something that was of interest to you in those units, and develop your question. If you also choose, you may go ahead and begin looking for articles and doing your readings and annotations. Remember, in our readings and annotations, in order to earn a 1, you have to be able to identify the main idea. In order to earn a 2, you need to be able to identify the main idea in one color and the supporting details in another color. In order to earn a 3, we're looking for you to be able to identify the main idea, supporting details, and make text-to-self connections. Something like, timing of the change of colors in leaves depends on the species of trees. And you might make a connection to that would say, I've noticed this before. I've noticed that my maple tree outside changes colors before my elm tree does. Okay, so you're connecting it to yourself. And for a 4, we're looking for text-to-text or text-to-world connections, things that you've learned in other places in your life. So make connections to those things. We'd like for those to be consistent and be specific throughout. For identifying main ideas and supporting details, come up with a color key for yourself. Okay, here it's main ideas are in pink and supporting details are in green. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions and to define words that are not familiar to you. That's a good skill as well. We'll cover this all later this week, but if you'd like to start doing some readings and annotations to get ahead, that would be very much appreciated, and it would be a good use of your time. Okay? If you have any questions about the rubrics and the things that can be helpful to you there, go ahead and on that document you just opened up with the list of questions at the top, there's a link to all the rubrics showing you what you need to do for your reading and your writing. Okay. Also, if you go back to Blackboard and you go back into that personalized learning folder, remember that your #1 resource if you have questions is the Handy Dandy Handbook. And it'll pull up an index at the very top here that will give you links to amazing resources that will help you to do everything from avoiding procrastination to helping you develop a specific and research-based question, to researching and evaluating resources, to what it looks like to read, annotate, and take good notes. Please refer to the Handy Dandy Handbook if you have any questions that way as well. I'm available for you to email so that I can answer any questions that you might have. Again, enjoy your 2 days, but please use them responsibly and use them to help yourself get ahead. This particular personalized learning unit, the absolute deadline, meaning if it is not done, you will not receive any type of grade, meaning you will get a 0 if it is not done by February 21st. It is February 2/1. Okay, so everybody's work is due at that time. There was some arrangements that students had made with me this past personalized learning unit that I will not be making this next time. So February 21st is the deadline for everybody. Please use your time wisely in order to meet that deadline. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Enjoy your day, and please, again, use your time wisely. If you go outside, cover up because it's going to be real cold real fast.